And welcome back to the O'Reilly Factor. Just kidding, not this show. What's going on, guys? I'm Matt McCool. I'm hosting Wrestle Rumors Warm Up. This week we're going to preview Raw, talk about Conor McGregor, Ryback. Joining me first is Adam and Sam Daley. What's going on, guys?
What's going on? How you doing tonight?
Always awesome to be here.
Phenomenal. Saw Suicide Squad twice this weekend.
Thank you.
I still have to go see it a second time.
Thank you.
Liz, what's up?
Hello. I'm kind of jealous that all you guys saw Suicide Squad and I still haven't had time to go see it. But what's going on? Let's have a freaking amazing show while I try to stop myself from cursing today.
Hey, you know what? I said on Twitter, the director of operations is gone. The inmates run the asylum this week. You guys can say whatever you want. I'm the host of the Pipe Bomb, so say whatever you want. I really don't say whatever. It doesn't matter to me. And my good friend, Brother Joshua Nero of WrestleZone. Josh, thanks for coming.
Brother Christopher, I knew you'd come. By the way, I just gotta say, Rotten Tomatoes can go suck a dick.
About sums it up because Margot Robbie absolutely killed it as Harley Quinn. I could literally watch that movie 5 times just to watch Margot Robbie the entire
Period.
time. And not based off her looks, based off her acting ability. I'm not trying to be like sexist or whatever here.
Totally nailed Harley. It was. She was perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She is Harley Quinn. I'm now a fan of Margot Robbie a lot. I've got a lesbian crush on Margot Robbie.
Yeah, you're glowing right now, Sam. You're like all happy and smiling.
But Sam,
I like Harley Quinn, and then you can pull off Harley Quinn like in a true fashion. You got me hook, line, and sinker. I'm in love. Sorry, Adam.
I am absolutely okay with this one.
Now he can make comments about other women, right?
I'll just sit there and watch. Like Bernie Mac said, I'll watch. I swear I'll watch.
Oh, good start so far, guys. So this week I decided to wear this shirt, Never Shuts Up, because we're going to start talking about Conor McGregor, who basically, for no reason whatsoever, took a shot at all WWE athletes, all WWE fans. So I want to get your guys' thoughts before I get my thoughts in. Let's start with Josh.
On the basis, I just think it's ignorant right off the bat. I get it. I get what his gimmick is. He's the badass UFC guy that wants to talk shit all the time, but he just went back on his word. He's a hypocrite. First off, he's calling everybody a pussy, and then the next he's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody." I think Kurt Angle said it perfectly when he said, "Get your head out of Dana White's ass." And Conor McGregor has been showing over this past year how much of a hypocrite he was, because I remember this whole thing about, oh, he's coming to WWE because he didn't want to show up to a UFC conference call. Oh, I don't want to do media. Oh, feel sorry for me. I've never been a Conor McGregor fan. Fuck UFC. I'm whatever.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Adam and Sam?
I definitely see this being a work, just so that there's heat on him whenever they do bring him into the WWE, maybe for a one-off, maybe for something big planned WrestleMania-wise. I love it. I just see it as work. I don't see why everyone's taking it so seriously, especially with everyone on the roster chiming in, even the women. Oh, Becky Lynch had the best of all.
Yeah, no, Becky Lynch owned him, but listen, I think this is where I'm at with this. I think he wanted it to be a work, and it backfired in his face immensely. I think that he thought that the guys in WWE would be like, oh, we get it, we get what he's doing. Maybe, they were saying, oh, you know what, hey, he's causing some. Listen, any publicity is good publicity, right? Mm-hmm. That's the gimmick, right? Look at our presidential election. There's no good pub with either candidate, but they're still running. So you think that, okay, at least he's playing the villain. But then when you see this kickback from everybody, I don't think he realized what door he opened, especially after you got to think of the talent in that locker room right now, and they have to swallow the Brock Lesnar pill, and that I mean by Brock Lesnar walks on water, and we all basically walk on eggshells. So after 2 failed drug tests, regardless of for whatever they had to be, and the UFC fight and all this stuff that they're probably so tired of UFC. When he had came out with his ammo, they were just the frustration just went loose. And listen, man, McGregor's about. What's McGregor weigh? Just out of curiosity.
159.
Okay, so McGregor roughly weighs he weighs like 10 more pounds than me, maybe 5 more pounds than me. So can I just say that 85% of the women's division would also beat him. Like I'm a grown-ass man, and I'm not afraid to say it. 100% of the women in that division would beat my ass, but he's a trained fighter, so maybe he could beat maybe one or two of them. But, I mean, there's like 85% of the women's roster and 99.9% of the men's roster would whoop his ass. So, it's my take.
Interesting. Josh?
I think the whole Cruiserweight division or Cruiserweight Classic guys in there can whoop his ass. So, simple as that. Hell, Hornswoggle would probably kick his ass. Who knows?
Yeah, for me, I don't really like the comments. I mean, it's just not necessary for no reason whatsoever. I never thought it would be a work until I went on the internet before the show, like kind of searching. A lot of people were writing articles about, hey, this could be a work for WrestleMania. I don't see why he would do this right now. Maybe he shows up at SummerSlam for whatever reason. Is he fighting that night? Do you guys know?
He's fighting at what, 204?
Saturday before.
Okay. Then maybe not. I mean, I just
nobody's gonna give a shit. That's the night of NXT. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know why he's trying to get buzzed for that.
It's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And the comments came from out of nowhere. And you can say whatever you want, but WWE athletes are tough, and they wrestle more dates and do more things than pro athletes do. 300 days a year, they travel a lot, and they put on a show. And people don't understand the physicality and the hard work, determination it takes to becoming a wrestler and just being a professional wrestler and being in WWE. I mean, it's crazy how the perception is like, oh, it's fake, so it doesn't really matter. They're basically showing up for a play, but in all reality, if you talk to anybody who takes a bump, it hurts really, really bad.
And you know what? The one thing I do want to say that I thought was absolutely beautiful that came out of this was for one day, the entire wrestling community came together. Seriously, like everybody came. Even Roman, people were like, hell yeah, Roman Reigns, go after him. Everybody came together. It was like the most glorious day of wrestling bliss I think that I've seen in probably years. So if nothing else, thank you, Conor Jackass McGregor, for bringing us all together again.
And I was kind of like upset because I'm half Irish and I like him, that he's successful and stuff, but it's just there's no reason. I think that is a really good point, though, because as a wrestling community, we are kind of all separated. Some people like Roman, some people are internet fans, some people are casual fans. We're all kind of throwing daggers at each other all the time. Not me personally, but we know those kind of people. I've been threatened to be blocked for saying that Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar are going to have a good match at SummerSlam or something like that, which is ridiculous. But it was good that for one day the community did come together. Any more thoughts on that, guys?
Well, you skipped over me again.
Oh, God. I feel so bad when Derek does this, but... All right, Liz, you get the floor for like 25 minutes. Go ahead. Sorry, doll. You know I love you.
I'm sorry. I was just sitting there like, okay. This is my warm-up gimmick, just everyone skips over me. It's okay.
No.
I woke up pretty late to that, too, and I woke onto Twitter, and everyone's all of a sudden liking each other, like, as a wrestling community. And I'm like, oh, God, who the fuck said shit about WWE now? That was, like, my first reaction. It's just, it might be a work, but it's kind of gonna... I feel like some WWE fans, and I think 80% due to Brock Lesnar, but I feel like a lot of WWE fans just don't see the appeal of adding UFC fighters into WWE a little bit. But it is also hypocritical of him. He uses, I think it's true that he does use the, like, Ric Flair things all in his gimmick and everything, but there was that video of him doing the Vince McMahon walk before his UFC fight. Like, this is hypocritical. You enjoy the product. So that's where it's coming off as a work. But it did backfire. Because I think the locker room would have been like, well, if this is a work, we're not going to say anything. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the locker room was like, okay, well, let's just add more to this. But then it backfired into the community, too. So it was interesting. It is cool to see once in a while when the IWC actually likes each other. I mean, it's like you might get in a fight with some fangirl because she loves Roman Reigns, or in someone else's case, you might get in a fight with some fangirl because she loves the Bella, who I feel like the Bella could also beat him.
I mean, maybe with her slap or with some other features of her body, she could kind of hit him in the face.
I love you, Sam.
Let's just go to Sam on this one.
Well, I think that the Bella's breast area could probably knock him out with just one swing of them, because I mean there's like rocks probably. But other than that, because we're not bringing up the Bella anymore. To Liz's point, yeah, Conor McGregor is a fan of WWE. He is. Everyone knows that he's a fan of WWE. That's why he does those things like the Vince McMahon walk, and he uses parts of Ric Flair's gimmicks. He's a fan. So when he's cutting promos on the fans, that's when it's a red flag that it's a work, in my opinion.
Yeah, he got exactly what he wanted out of this, though, guys. He got a hell of a lot of free press that he desperately needed because people weren't talking about him. And I'm not saying that to slight Conor McGregor, but his stock has been falling, guys. And when it comes to UFC, there's only a couple names that they have left. Rousey, McGregor, and I hate to say it, but in both avenues, the stock is falling with both of those talents, you know. And I don't know, with UFC going through a sale, are they, aren't they? We don't know what that's going on. They needed some kind of positive buzz. So I think that what Conor McGregor, listen, he's a smart dude. It was very meticulous. It drew the attention that he wanted. I don't know if it was the intent was to plant seeds for a possible cross promotion. Maybe it would really be cool though, because the man would be awesome on the mic. But I don't think that was the case. I thought he thought, hey, everyone will get the joke, and then it wasn't as funny.
Maybe he had too much Guinness. Like, I don't know what happened with this entire thing, but it's just like really frustrating. He would go out there and say something like that, and yeah, it did bring a lot of attention, but also brought a lot of positive press to the entire wrestling community that we came together as a whole. And you know, the sports media can kind of see that and report on that it's not as fractured as they think. I think Conor McGregor would be great in WWE. I think he does have great mic skills. He's athletic, but this does make it that if he were to ever come to WWE, it makes that match that much bigger now because there's actual real heat, or maybe it's a work.
Wait, what is his weight and height again? I'm sorry, you mentioned this.
159, and he's 5'9".
Yeah.
Oh yeah, even AJ Styles could beat his ass.
Hey, Matt, let me tell you this is very telling. The last 2 years, the only buzz UFC's been able to obtain is off the back of guys who either left WWE, used to be a WWE guy, and people that want to be in the company. Ronda Rousey, nowhere to be found after her loss. She did that whole WrestleMania thing. We don't need to go back to that. You heard something about Paige Van Zandt that was going to appear at SummerSlam. You got Punk debuting in a month, and then, of course, you got the Nimrod, Brock Lesnar. So is UFC really that important anymore?
I mean, I'm not a UFC fan. I think the entire thing is boring, no disrespect. I went to the Brock Lesnar fight at B-Dubs, and I was about ready to like claw my eyes out. I couldn't stand it. I'm just not a fan of the entire thing. And you're right that it has been off the back of WWE guys like Lesnar and Rousey and people that might come or might leave or whatever. But I mean, I'm also thinking like Conor McGregor. He lost a few months ago, and I'm sure he has a shorter fuse now. So some fan probably just tweeted him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so pissed. I'm gonna knock WWE," and then it blew up in his entire face.
Yeah, the rest of Twitter spreads quick, don't it?
Yeah,
it does. But that might have been the case since he seems like an angry Irish man. I'm also half Irish, so I'm allowed to say this.
Any final thoughts on this, guys?
Okay.
What, Adam?
Nothing. No, go ahead, man. Liz got the joke. Sam got the joke. We'll move on. Derek, I love you, brother.
See, I did the Derek intro last week, so I wasn't gonna like kind of copy it and do it again. I had to come up with something a little bit different. I like throwing the political thing in now because it's the election season and everybody hates this election. So.
Well, Liz claimed Irish, and we all know that Derek likes to claim Samoan and Canadian and American, and I think and
Bulgaria,
Norwegian and Swahili, and all kinds of things. So he's gonna kill me. The director of operations.
He's like the normal white girl when you tell a girl that she's white, and she tells you how like all the nationality she is in one person.
That's messed up.
That's not normal white girl. That's normal white, like, period. That's just what happens.
That's a great transition into Nikki Bella.
Oh, God.
Anything to do with Nikki Bella.
Normal white girl?
She's Mexican.
Oh, she
Sounds
is.
like a normal white girl to me.
She's half. She's not full, I don't think. But let's
Oh, whatever.
This went south real quick.
move on. Let's move on to somebody leaving WWE. Ryback actually gave WWE their future endeavor, and WWE did the same today or this weekend to Ryback. I want to get your guys' thoughts on Ryback's tenure in WWE, whether you're happy or sad to see him leave. I don't know why anybody would be sad. It doesn't make any sense to me because I cannot stand the guy. But go ahead. Let's start with Liz this time. You're first.
Yay, because this is what always happens. Anyway, I don't give a shit. I just don't give a shit. Especially when that's like here's the thing. We all know my fucking Twitter is Queen of Bullet Club.
Yep.
So when I'm never like, oh, I'm offended by this. Like, there's obviously, like, honestly, there's bigger fans of the Bullet Club than me. I just fangirl over them. But I'm never one of those people that get pissed off at Bullet Club mock shirts. And his just for some odd reason, when Matt sent it, I got pissed off. I was like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? This group has been more over than him than he's fucking years in WWE. But other than me being pissed off about that, there's probably, and Adam might fight me on this, there's probably there has to be truth to CM Punk's statement that Ryback truly wanted to hurt him when there's also been other wrestlers that have gotten hurt by Ryback. That's unprofessional. It feels like when he's walking around the room, there's an unprofessional environment, though some wrestlers go on podcasts and they say that, they like him, but it seems more of an unprofessional environment, especially the way that he goes, hey, I'm leaving, and then WWE never said anything for a little bit, and then all of a sudden WWE's like, okay. Like, that's like anyone quitting their job before putting their 2 weeks in. That's disgusting. So I'm glad people who are saying that they want to see him in New Japan or some fucking indie wrestler, go fuck yourself, because that's, like, not the best idea.
We got some comments on our YouTube feed from people. Damian Puttick commented, he sucks stuff about Ryback, to put it nicely, and Julian Varenne commented, they need a great storyline with Jericho as his heel. Jericho can work heel for a lot of people, just not for Ryback.
Exactly. Yep.
They didn't say anything because they don't care. It doesn't matter. They didn't say anything about CM Punk. They just let his contract expire because there's a certain point where they're probably, look, Ryan, like, we're not going to give you any more money. You can sit it out if you want, but this is the deal you're getting. And he's like, oh, I'm going to take my ball and run home. Like, all right, go ahead. We don't care.
Okay.
Go ahead, Josh.
This is like the first Green Day song I learned on the guitar. I'm going to say good riddance to Ryback. Over the years I tried to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but when he had that whole little soliloquy about how everybody should be paid the same and all this bullshit on Twitter a couple months ago, I was like, whatever, dude. you weren't meaning anything. You weren't driving the business up in a positive way when you were wearing that hot spot. So good riddance. And I don't know about you guys, but Ryback is kind of like one of those personification of those guys that leave WWE and go to TNA. Not a dig at Drew Galloway or any of those guys, because those guys are actually talented, but Ryback would fit TNA to the up degree.
He'd be like the new AJ Styles for TNA, except less talented. Much less talented.
Crimson.
You know what, for him, I hope he goes to TNA and does well. Because I'll just laugh at the entire promotion. I already do. The fact that, Matt Hardy's been pretty amazing in this whole Brother Nero Twisted Matt Hardy thing. I'm still not a huge fan. So, that is crazy to me. If Ryback goes over and he works in TNA, hey, I love the whole Brother Nero thing. It's weird. It's funny. But I'm just not a big Matt Hardy guy. So the fact that he's at the top, it's actually working for him. If Ryback goes over there and it works, I'm just going to laugh at their entire promotion. So, all right, Adam and Sam.
I have not seen this Ryback Bullet Club shirt yet, so I'm definitely going to have to look that up after the show.
It just says Buffet Club. It looks like Bullet Club.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to have to see it. But I did watch the video where he came out saying that he was quitting or leaving WWE, I would just want to say, A, Ryback needs to stop recording videos while he's driving and pay attention to the road. I mean, that's not being a good role model there. So let's just nick that in the bud. I don't give crap two shits about Ryback at all. I never thought he was talented. I never thought he was going to be this big star that everyone was like, oh, he'll be big, he'll be one of the main eventers. No, I never thought so. Never thought he deserved it. Never thought he was talented enough for it. So I don't really want to see him anywhere in the Indies. I don't think he's going to be successful in the Indies. I honestly believe he's going to be one of those wrestlers that just fades away with time, that goes off to be a school teacher or a janitor or like CM Punk used to work at a gas station. He'll just go work at a gas station. Feed me more
Waffle House
Twinkies.
Well, he is trying to emulate CM Punk in a lot of ways. But listen, I want to say that I would be an extreme hypocrite if I knocked Ryback for the statements that he said when he left the company and applauded CM Punk for his. Okay, so I want to make it very clear that I applaud anybody that whether we think that they're valid or invalid, I applaud anybody that feels like they need to voice grievances when they leave WWE, because it's the only way they can make the company better, whether we like it or not. There's points that he brought up that I absolutely do agree with when you go through what he was saying. Maybe not stuff with hotels and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, eventually there has to come a time where they need some sort of medical, maybe, or they need. But I could also see when you look from a merchandise standpoint, they never gave him a marketable shirt ever. They never developed him a marketable shirt, and I do think he
never exactly had a marketable character.
That's where, again, that was a WWE fault, because they wanted to flip him babyface when he was extreme heel. He was so over as a heel, like where people despised him.
I didn't think
and WWE kept flipping him back and forth. Well, that's because nobody likes him. Look at how much disgust is on this panel about Ryback, right? And listen, me and the big guy must love and hate me, because he's blocked me and unblocked me like 3 times now for some reason. I have no idea why. So, and I'm just, listen, I hate Ryback, so please don't get it twisted. He's an absolute prick. I met him in New Orleans. He's a fucking asshole. But on the flip side, he's so fucking arrogant. But on the flip side of things, I have no problem with somebody voicing their displeasure. It would make me a hypocrite that somebody that applauded Adam Rose, somebody that applauded CM Punk, somebody applauded the Cody Rhodes. It would make me a hypocrite to try and say, and I mean, I'm going to give him an A for effort as far as trying to promote his website. I'm going to give him an E for execution because never cut a good promo, so of course that wasn't going to be any good. And yeah, drive safe, man. Come on. But I will say, but at the end of the day, listen, I'm not going to knock Ryback for his departing statements when he wrote that thing, only because I would be the biggest hypocrite in the world. And whether Ryback loves me or hates me, I don't know. He like I said, he was just a dick when I met him. So
we also like just to bring up that point, whenever someone does announce the discomforts within the company, you'll always see that shift in WWE. You kind of the best. I brought this up before on warm-up. The best one was when the whole Bill DeMott case was going on, and you saw a lot more wrestlers going on shows that were saying, like, this is what was going on, and this is what no wrestler should go through. And WWE saw that and went, okay, he's gone. He's gone. We're going to make sure these next group of wrestlers are not treated like wrestlers that have left our company. So I still... While I 100% still feel how I feel on that rant that I just did, you will see some sort of, I feel like there will be some sort of change, and I don't know, I always feel like that way whenever a wrestler decides, I'm coming out and I'm saying this, how I felt about the company while I was there.
Good point. By the way, here's a shirt, if you guys haven't seen it. It says Buffet Club. Feed me more.
Stupid. We're going to have to make this show 18+, by the way, for how much cursing we are doing tonight.
It didn't happen. I didn't hear anything. My ears are closed. But for me, I do applaud him for having the cojones to make comments about the company and, to kind of help improve things for other people. Some of the things he said were very, very much off base, but here's the thing with Ryback. He doesn't move merch. Nobody cares about him. He's an unsafe worker. He's a one-dimensional character. He has no depth whatsoever. The only thing that's over with him is feed me more. I completely disagree. WWE never gave him a marketable shirt. I know a lot of people that actually bought a few of his shirts because they're cool. The R thing is cool. the Feed Me More thing is cool, but look, there's also been plenty of people that have come up with their own merchandise. John Cena works on all of his merchandise. Maybe he doesn't have the authority to do that, but I highly doubt it. He needs to be creative and not worry about just Feed Me More and the stupid skull cap and making sure his things are tied up and everything. He's kind of focused on his character and improving things. He also sounds literally when he's speaking like a garbage disposal. It's just I can't listen to him, and I have no time for it. So, mic drop.
I mean,
like I said, he stepped off the evolution chart like 4 evolutions ago. That's all.
Hey, Matt, I disagree with the marketability because the only marketable thing that ever happened in his career was Nexus. That was the only line of merchandise that ever did him any favors.
I'm just saying he can sell T-shirts. Like, the T-shirts weren't hard. I would never buy them because I just don't like him. But there are different colors, and for kids at least, they could definitely buy them. And look, if he has an idea, think about it. Come up with a new form of character. I mean, when he was the Ryback bully that would dump soup on people's head, that was funny. That was hilarious. When he came out just nothing, no, it was bad.
It's not funny.
But you're sort of right about the T-shirt design thing because the best example is the New Day is what pushed hard for their own shirt and ended up looking for artists to help design. But other than that, yeah, I think some of the shit he said was bullshit and just bitter. But again, I do see a change happening in the company due to it.
Yeah, and that's all good and fine. Wish him the best of luck. Don't have any desire to watch him wrestle ever again. Hey, he can be in Expendables 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. That could be his job, just being Expendables every single year. Be perfect for him.
Or he could be in the boring-ass Olympics in some weightlifting competition. I don't know.
Hey, he could just replace Vin Diesel like The Rock did, because even though as bad as Ryback is, he's still better than Vin Diesel.
Yes.
Oh, really? That is a huge shot. And at the Olympics. So just really quick poll, how many people are actually watching the Olympics that's on the show right now? How many people?
I only watch fencing. I know that sounds dorky, but I did it for 4 years.
Since it's every pervert's favorite event, women's, I guess, and I didn't know this. This shows you how much I pay attention to my high school and the Olympics. But I guess the captain of the women's volleyball team, you pervs, went to the same high school as me. So I don't know. Yeah, I just found that out today. I have no idea. I don't watch the Olympics. Who cares?
Yeah.
I've got a friend who's running for not a friend, but a friend's sister that's running in track, and I'll probably watch out with my family, but I could really care less. No offense to any of the athletes, it's just not my thing. So, as wrestling fans, I feel like we're kind of a little bit of a subculture. So, this kind of thing wouldn't really appeal to people.
This is gonna be the dork of me, but I used to do fencing, and I know some of Team USA's fencers, so I still watch.
Well, that's cool though.
I also take an athletic competition serious when it has ping pong and not baseball. So
I watched the one dude break his leg. That was pretty entertaining. Does that count?
I thought I checked on her head.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
All right, let's move on to Raw. I don't want to talk about the Olympics. So WWE does their 5-point preview. The first one is, what does Mick Foley have in store for Daniel Bryan this week on Raw? Apparently, Mick Foley has invited Daniel Bryan to Monday Night Raw. I'm kind of thinking this is a whole brand split thing. They're going to try and create a storyline out of Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton to make it SmackDown versus Raw because, like we've talked about before, this doesn't have that very much depth in terms of storyline. So what do you guys think about that? Adam?
I have no clue.
I don't know. I mean, it could obviously be maybe a completely focus on Lesnar Orton, maybe a cease and desist. Each talent has to stay on their respective shows just to avoid confrontation or, just because all the security that had to be high, they don't want to keep doing that. I could also see this as something maybe where they start to initiate trade talks or talent, things of that nature. I mean, it's been a couple weeks since the draft. We thought there was going to be trades. We thought there would be, free agent signings, which there's been a couple, I guess here and there. But Rhino, congrats on your win in politics. But I don't know. I mean, I think it could go one of two ways. I'd like to see it go both ways, to be honest. Tie in Orton and Lesnar, but also kind of tease hey, I like this guy. He hasn't really been, I've got an underperforming talent here. Maybe you would want him, and kind of play a little game, barter a little bit.
Maybe they're gonna figure out who finally gets stuck with Heath Slater. Like we can't have him keep breaking into both shows. Somebody's gotta take him eventually. You know? You get stuck with him.
Well, he's got his match on SmackDown.
I think it would be really refreshing to bring in the trade deadline. It would kind of add a realism to WWE. And like you guys said, it can take guys like Sami Zayn. Maybe Sami Zayn's not doing anything on Raw, so he goes to SmackDown, something like that. Liz?
Yeah, I think it's a cool storyline with the fact that you announced Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar before the draft, so you just got to keep following on. I think it's just a cool storyline. I wouldn't be shocked for Daniel Bryan to just both of them to come out mad at each other, because it's like, or even it could go either way. Both of them coming out mad, like, well, why did your guy can't come to my show? And going back to, well, why did your guy come to my show all of a sudden too? Or it could be like, hey, I don't like what your guy did. But it's cool storyline to do at your biggest pay-per-view, do a Raw SmackDown story, so that maybe going forward you're going to have more of that at bigger shows, like at SummerSlam or any of that. But more bigger shows, of course. Other than that, that's what I really see. I don't see the talent or any of that talking yet, because I think it's too soon. Maybe later on, but I just think it's too soon, just with the draft just happening, maybe 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
The draft just happened. So if it feels too soon, maybe later on where you're developing more stories, like the idea that we have with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Oh my God, these two keep fighting at each other. We need them out. Shade take Sammy, and we'll take someone else.
I like that. I also think that Daniel Bryan should bring out his #1 favorite SmackDown superstar, Apollo Creed, and have him help out in some way possible.
Oh, God.
All kidding aside, there's a 100% chance they're going to chant Apollo Creed tonight. It's happening. Just wait for it. Josh, go ahead.
I'm sorry about this. I might have to pull a Derek here and pull out the corporate stooge card here. I think some people are missing out on what this whole extension or brand split, or whatever you want to call it. It's supposed to be a brand extension, and when you have your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, when you have a guy like Brock Lesnar who's a part-timer against Randy Orton, who's probably going to be a part-timer by this time next year, I really don't think it's a big deal that they're switching on Raw and SmackDown. It's the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. You have two special attraction guys. It's an extension, not a split. So it is what it is for me.
That's a great point. It is. And I also think this could just be a filler because, look, Brock Lesnar's not coming out this week. He's at home in Canada with Sable and his kids. Randy Orton's supposed to be on SmackDown. So you're not going to have one, not have the other. And that whole Randy Orton thing should happen on SmackDown. So I think that I do like that they have come out on both shows. I would have wished it would have been maybe like a few weeks later that Brock Lesnar showed up on SmackDown, not the same exact week, because WWE basically told us he was going to come without really telling us, which I don't like. And there needs to be some sort of surprise, but still. All right, let's move on to and this one's kind of stupid. I don't know why it's a part of the preview, but of course it is. What does Sean Puff Daddy Combs have in store for Raw?
God.
I mean,
Who gives a
apparently.
shit?
Yeah, apparently he's
Bathroom break.
WWE 2K17 soundtrack. I don't know. It's just
Isn't he also? They're doing like some sort of stupid SummerSlam concert, the night before Takeover, I think.
it's Flo Rida and Jason Derulo. I think.
Oh, never mind. I thought he was also on it. Oh, what a
I'm expecting Puff Daddy to get a pop-up power bomb off the stage.
We're all praying for that, Josh.
That was the best thing they ever did, though, with one of the musical talents.
It was Travis Barker.
Travis Barker.
Any thoughts on this, guys? I don't know why this is a part of the 5-point preview. No idea.
I think what Diddy's going to do is he's going to tell Heath Slater that he has to go to the Upper West Side and collect breast milk from a Cambodian immigrant, and then get a picture of a midget holding these balloons.
Yeah, that basically sums it.
Chappelle Show fans right now are probably pissing themselves. Everybody else has no idea what I'm talking about. So to those of you out there, you're welcome.
Dylon, and Dylon.
All right.
My God, put Heath Slater in there too. You're welcome, guys. See, there's always a place for Heath Slater in my heart.
All right, let's move on. Is Sasha Banks' dream coming to an end? Y'all don't say. You don't.
What?
You don't. That's what WWE wrote. It's just they're just trying to play off the fact that Charlotte pinned Sasha last week in a mixed tag team match. You know how this stuff goes back and forth.
Man, what the fuck?
Her dream over. She just won the title last week?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you mean it's over? She just won it. Her career's just starting. No, her dream's not over. Her dream was to be champion and to be in the WWE, and that's what she's doing. It's not going to be over now. That's just silly. That just seems like clickbait to me.
True. I will say this. It absolutely seems like clickbait, but wouldn't it be crazy? It would enrage people, but what if Charlotte just won the title back like tonight just like that? And I don't think that's going to happen, guys, but like that's obviously but what if we didn't think Sasha was going to win a couple weeks ago?
Oh, you just...
I don't think that's... Please, but, you know.
You almost broke Matt's heart, I think.
I'll be dead inside. It would be done. I'm just gonna criticize the writers for this. Like, I get you guys are professionals, but can't you just say like, what will Sasha Banks have in store for Charlotte this week, or how will she recount? How will she rebound after she lost? Doesn't have to be is her dream over because she lost to Charlotte in a mixed tag team match the second week of Raw. Like
they're really trying to pull at those heartstrings of the Sasha Banks fans.
Well, they did.
For example,
WWE.com.
Well, Seth Rollins need to rethink his strategy. Got to move on.
On their social media accounts too, they even put on Twitter and Facebook. They put stuff like it was like, "Oh, watch Sasha Banks like finally live her dream." Like that. It was just a couple days ago. So now, if that's a headline today, that is that dream coming to an end? They're planting seeds for something, right? I mean, why else would they put something a couple days ago on all their social media outlets? A 15-second video of Sasha Banks in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, by the way. Just standing there holding up the title for 15 seconds. It wasn't the final move. It wasn't the finish. It was just the crowd cheering and saying she finally got or accomplished her dream or whatever. It could be nothing. It could be something. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes there's breadcrumbs, guys. I don't know.
I think it's just words. It's a good point, but I think it's just straight words. I don't think it really. I think it's just somebody writing an article trying to get clicks. It's
making something.
Trying to get viewers.
Yeah, there's still another week of Raw, but let's move on. We have a few more points to cover. Will Seth Rollins need to rethink his strategy this week? I mean, his strategy was fine. He kind of faked out Finn Balor, and Balor kicked him in the head, and then Seth Rollins beat Sami Zayn. So I don't see why you would need to rethink his strategy.
I guess because the idea that they're saying is because Finn feels that that's like I guess because Finn was provoking him. Kind of like, well, I earned my way here. I wrestled 2 matches here. And you got chosen. And Seth, I love that promo so much because Seth immediately just got pissed off and got passionate. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like we have too many match of the year candidates. I'm already calling this another match of the year candidate just from that one promo. But I guess that's what they're trying to feed off of is I think they're trying to say like, oh, Finn Balor may have wrote him off.
I wonder, like, if the WWE.com crew is like feeding off of what Bret Hart and Vince Russo bitch about on their podcasts every week, and now we got Bruce Pritchard on the bandwagon now. Matt and Ed, we talked about this on the Pipe Bomb last week. About how Matt, you brought up Road Warrior Animal saying that Sasha Banks being shoved down her throat, but in this stupid ass article, she's being presented as an underdog, even though she's won 100 matches since she came up from NXT last year. And then you got the same thing here with Finn Balor. Oh, he's an underdog because he's the size of a cruiserweight. Oh my God, we got to rethink strategy. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, wrestling is over as we know it because Finn Balor's #1 contender. Really, really great point, Vince Russo. Go get a job in wrestling. All right, let's. In terms of Rollins, any more thoughts about Rollins and Balor? What do we expect to see out of Rollins and Balor this week?
More hype, more build-up. I don't know. I think we have to see a little bit more on the promo side from Finn Balor because really, Rollins has been carrying the promos. And we know that Balor's strength isn't stick work, so we need to see a little bit more of that if we're going to really buy into, and I'm not trying to be Vince Russo here, but to buy into his believability. You know what I mean? Because I still think, and well, spoiler alert, I think Balor's going to win at SummerSlam anyway, so screw everyone out there that's trying to call me a hypocrite. But I think that's, you know, to the casual fan, they need to add on that level. So I think we see Balor against somebody tonight, but I think we see Balor cut the promo.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I'm not good at this question because you mentioned Seth Rollins and Finn Balor in the same sentence, and I just imagine both of them shirtless, and my mind goes into different places than what should be. So I'm going to say if that happens, I hope
Does
both
it involve
men are
Margot Robbie?
shirtless. You can throw Margot Robbie in there if you want, you know, make it a 3 little
Make this a triple threat.
wrestling match,
All
you
right.
know, gender, whatever, but yeah, there you go.
This is why I love
Sympathetic trolls, guys. I'm sorry.
This is why I love Sam. She thinks the exact same thoughts as me too.
Guys, why don't you elaborate on these thoughts? Come on.
Great minds think alike, Liz. Come on.
Listen, I'm married to her. Trust me, you guys do not want to hear these thoughts because she's not. It's not like she keeps them in. There's no filter. So believe me, you don't want to hear these thoughts.
Both males are single though. Just saying.
Oh, are they?
Thanks, Liz.
Looks like Sam's moving to Davenport, Iowa, or break out
shit.
of Ireland.
Adam's gonna come after me. Adam's gonna kill me.
I know people. Don't worry.
Yeah, I do expect Finn Balor to get a big win tonight and kind of make a statement on the mic. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that he obviously isn't as good as Rollins. It's not his strength, but I think that we might see a tease of the Demon this week or next week because we know that's coming at SummerSlam. I do think he's going to win. At this point, it's kind of the feeling I'm getting, but I think we'll see that. The other two things on the 5-point preview about Big E and Cesaro and Sheamus, I mean, they don't really matter. They're useless. Let's talk about Adam's favorite wrestler, I think, one of his favorites. Does Kevin Owens truly have Chris Jericho's back? And I'm going to go with Adam first on this one. Where do you see this going, Adam?
He will until SummerSlam, and then he's going to turn on him at SummerSlam. I feel, or something's going to happen shortly thereafter. Maybe because I guess this makes sense as a tag match, Owens and Jericho versus Enzo and Cass, right? Just to get him on the SummerSlam card. They could put it anywhere on the card, and it would be good. It could open the show. It could be, in that second, third hour, wherever they needed it to. So, but then I think in the end, Jericho and Owens are going to butt heads. And Jericho, Owens, as much as I love Chris Jericho, I do love Kevin Owens, and he always gets the last laugh. So
couldn't have said it any better. They will make an amazing tag team, I think, and it's going to be a fun tag match to watch. But Kevin Owens is going to turn on Jericho in the end. That's just the Kevin Owens way. He turns on everybody.
And it doesn't mean that Chris Jericho is necessarily the babyface. He's just going to turn on him and kind of do his own thing because Kevin Owens does do his own thing. We talked about that in the pipe bomb last week. Go ahead, Josh.
I think it's one of those things where you mix two feuds with each other. So let's say like you have Balor fight Jericho tonight, right? And then who knows, maybe Balor wins or Owens comes in and starts beating up, and then Enzo and Cass come down the ring to make the save, and then something where Seth Rollins hit a pedigree or something like that. That's what I see happening here.
Liz?
Honestly, also, by the way, Adam, when he said that, kind of gave me, like, the Y2AJ feels, where they're going to release a shirt, like, right before SummerSlam comes out, and then all of a sudden, like, on Raw, you're going to see it's Raw, right? He's on Raw. Am I right? Yeah. Yeah, we're doing Raw right now. Wow, I'm an idiot. But you're going to just see the shirt being burned. Yeah, I feel that. But it's a cool, I like this. I'm cool with that. And I'm also cool with Enzo and Big Cass doing that because you're in Brooklyn. You're in their home turf. You're going to get some Jersey people up there, too. You're in their turf. The loudest pop I've ever been in, also minus kind of Extreme Rules where I was there to see Seth Rollins come back. The biggest pop I ever saw was Big Cass and Enzo coming out before TakeOver for their match. And, like, these guys just being completely over in Brooklyn. That was crazy. So, yeah, you got to bring these guys in. I know we're going to go into SummerSlam predictions later on, but it's going to be a huge pop.
One thing I would say though is I don't think we'll see a T-shirt. Only because I don't know if you guys noticed, anytime Jericho works heel, there's no Jericho T-shirts. And in an interview recently, he just said that if he works dark, he doesn't want a T-shirt because he doesn't want people buying merchandise to make it. He wants to be a natural heel, a true heel. So I don't think we'll see a T-shirt out of it. Although it'd be cool, I'd buy it. This is one I would buy.
His last shirt was pretty cool, though. It was really cool. I want to say, though, that Enzo and Cass should be on the SummerSlam card. It was a big, big mistake they were not on the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn card last year. It was ridiculous. I mean, the Vaudevillains, when they came out, it was really cool. Blue Pants came out. I was there, too. But the fact they were on an NXT TV show there was ridiculous. I was, trying to get food and the show was going to start, so I immediately, ran out of line and ran right into the arena to hear their pop. It was completely ridiculous. And I think that Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are a good match. They're both really witty. And they're funny and they're entertaining, so they will be funny kind of beating Enzo and Cass back and forth. But, of course, I expect somebody to turn on somebody. They're both heels. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. Somebody's going to turn. And also point out that Kevin Owens has been on every single pay-per-view show since his debut, so I don't think they're going to leave him off SummerSlam. He's too big of a star to do that.
I can even have something happen as early as tonight, just setting up a SummerSlam match between Jericho and Owens.
Yeah, it is, it's not official that it's Enzo and Cass. Okay. I mean, it would be a good match, but...
The tag team championships are official, though. So Enzo and Cass are not going. It's the Club versus the New Day at SummerSlam.
Yes.
Any final thoughts, guys? Nothing?
No.
All right,
No.
guys. Thank you for joining us this week on Wrestling Rumors Warm-Up. Josh Lopez, thanks so much for coming on the show. Great thoughts, as always. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at WC Josh Lopez. Covering Smackdown Live tomorrow night for WrestleZone. Wednesday, check out the podcast with me and Mr. Daley. We're having a good friend, Eric Friedman from tagmeadate.com, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Check out the pod on iTunes, and thanks for having me on, bud.
I need to get on Tag Me a Date. I really do. That's awesome. I got to make a profile. All right, Liz.
Tag Me a Date's so much fun. You have to.
The questions are so fun to answer.
They actually are. They are.
It's been up on my tab.
I see because
For the fun.
I feel like I gotta get on this now too, huh?
You, Liz.
I get.
Tag me a day. Gotta find your wrestling guy. Find your
we know a
CM Punk
guy.
to your AJ.
We know a guy. I mean, that's all. That's, you know what I mean? We know a couple guys. Maybe we can help you out. I don't know.
Speaking of Liz, thanks for coming on. Obviously, great thoughts.
Thanks for having me. Sorry.
You're always welcome.
Thanks for having me on, guys. And yeah, you can find me. You can find me at Lost. I forgot. Wow, I'm not on my game today. I'm sorry, guys. It's back to school season. I work at an office supply store. I'm just out of it. You can find me anywhere at Lost in Stereo, Liz. Off topic, I'm posting a ton of art. I'm also involved with a lot of music things if you're into that, but mainly if you want to follow me wrestling related, I'm just fangirling and also interesting thoughts all around. And on various podcast shows, there's I forgot their name. I'll talk about it next week.
Liz has been on the Pipe Bomb and plenty of other shows with me and Adam and Sam, so you'll find her somewhere. She's always talking wrestling. And Harley and Joker, where can people find you?
You can find me at LadyNexus13 on Twitter.
Follow me in the West Wing of the Arkham Asylum. No, at Adam Daley 13. Guys, thanks. And listen, all you Suicide Squad haters out there, relax. What did you think you were getting into? Like, it's a Suicide Squad movie, not a Batman movie. Joker wasn't even supposed to be in the damn thing. Settle down.
Yeah, That was completely ridiculous. I disagree. I saw it twice. I don't know why people hate it so much. I immensely enjoyed it. There's no reason why people should have given it that bad reviews. I heard some review today. One of our residents said to me, they're like, oh, yeah, somebody wrote, like, oh, there's not a lot of popcorn because people just leave in the middle of the movie. Like, really? Why? Doesn't even make any sense. Just straight dumb.
And to anybody out there that said they over-sexualized Harley Quinn or they made her dumb and did blah, 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 Harley Quinn was played perfectly. So just people are so just critical. Just relax.
She was brilliant. And also find Adam and Sam on their comedy show, Wrestling With. I've been on plenty of times. It's a lot of fun. They tape usually once a week. Check them out there. And also, I'm the host of the Pipe Bomb with McCool and Company on the New Age Insiders Network. We're doing a really fun pre-show at McMahon's Pub at 3 o'clock. Me and Ann will go on. Then at 3:30, the guys from NAI go on to give their predictions, and I'll go on at the end too. SummerSlam Sunday at McMahon's. You can't miss it right across. If you're going to SummerSlam, tweet me, let me know where you're at. I'll be there. You'll be getting some of these. My T-shirt's going up on Pro Wrestling Tees really soon. I have a new logo, so having a lot of fun with that. And all these guys have been on my show, so on the show. So appreciate you guys joining us this week. Enjoy Raw, and I'll catch you guys later this week.